Okay, today we are going to be covering our second question on our overlapping perimeters. Again, as I mentioned in the previous video, one of the key concepts for PSLE. A plot of land of area 876 meters is divided into 3 rectangular fields of equal width. The fields are fenced using 177 meters of fencing indicated by the dotted lines. So let us go and take a look at the information that has been provided. We are given that this is 36 meters and the other side being 27. And where else can we find these lines within this diagram? Because they mentioned there are 3 rectangular fields. The opposite sides of your rectangles would also have the same length by these 3 lines. These 3 lines added up together will give us 36 meters as well. Now, what else do we have? On the bottom rectangle, we notice that we have a 27 meters, the same length as this 27 meters over here. Since we already know these measurements, let us subtract away of them first. 177 minus 36 times 2 minus 27 times 2 will give us 51 meters. And this 51 meters happens to be shared between these 2 lines. So from here, we take 51 meters and we divide it by 2 to give us 25.5 meters. As we are discussing this question, you notice that we don't really talk about overlapping perimeters. So in this case, despite actually these figures over here overlapping, but they mentioned that the fence is used to divide between the 2. So we are not actually focused on the perimeters of each of the rectangles, but rather we are including all the inside lines as well. But the second part suddenly talks about perimeter, and in this case we need to find a way to now remove our inner lines. But how do we get rid of them? So that's where we need to go and do some calculations. There must be a reason why so much information has been provided. A second key piece of information is actually the mentioning of equal width. So the width of each of these rectangles would be 36 divided by 3, giving us 12 meters. Why is this important? Because this 12 meters would indicate 12, 12, 12, and with the 25 provided to us and also the area of the entire diagram, we can actually manage to go and find the information within the middle rectangle. So let's do some calculations. We have our 25.5 and we can multiply it by 12 so that we can get the area of the top rectangle, giving us 306 meters squared. What about the bottom rectangle? We have 27 multiplied by 12, giving us 324 meters squared, and allowing us to go and find the middle rectangle, 876 minus 306 minus 324. So once we calculate this, we'll get 246 meters squared. But why is this important? Because if we have the width of the rectangle, we can find the length that we are trying to get rid of. So in this case, we take 246 meters squared and we divide by the 12 meters at the side. This will give us 20.5 meters. And since we're subtracting 2 of them from your 177 meters to leave us only the length of everything else on the outside, basically the perimeter of the entire diagram. So our last part, 177 minus 20.5 times 2. Remember, we have to subtract 2 of them, giving us our final perimeter of 136 meters.